wishbone wing T type of an offense. I mean, you just saw the speed, just the acceleration, kick returns and stuff like that. You saw that, but I had no idea how he would grasp our offense, transition to a traditional offense, as far as, all the formations, the alignments, the protections, route running, the whole package. And he's a very bright young man. But once we got into camp, then I knew that if he stayed healthy, he was going to have the type of year that he's had. It was easy for me to see that in camp. It was just a matter of developing him and getting him confident to go and play, other than just handing the ball. And so he's just really matured a lot throughout the year. Tony's done a great job with him.
How's his foot or whatever?
Say that again?
Speaking of Travis, how's he doing? I know he's banged up a little bit the other night.
Oh, he's fine. He's fine.
What does it say about the depth at linebacker then? I think you've had 4 guys miss time to varying degrees in the last 3 weeks, and you're having to move guys around, and yet you don't really seem like it's stressed at that level.
Yeah, I think that's another thing that we talked about back. If you go back to the preseason, one of the things I was excited about was, I felt like we all felt like we were going to be really good on defense, but I felt like we were going to have the best competitive depth that we've had. Guys that functional football players. You always hear me say that. Guys that can go in and function and play well. Not guys that just go in there and they're talented, but they're a little dysfunctional. That's a different type of depth. We've had very functional depth, especially at linebacker, and it showed up for us all year. I mean, guys have played well, man. Trey Lamar's been out. I mean, J.D. Davis has led us in tackles at times. He's played great. Judah goes another night, gets a huge stop on 3rd and 2, hits him right smack in the backfield for a loss. Jalen Williams has played great for us this year. Skowski, just kind of waiting for his opportunity, and next thing you know, he's having to start some games and play a lot of snaps. I mean, he's won a player of the game around here. Chad Smith has come on for us. Shaq has improved a ton throughout this season. He's much more prepared to go play. So it's been a blessing, for sure. And it hasn't always been that way. We got a really, really good group of guys that we trust, that can go and, like I said, be functional players for us.
There were times a few years ago where you would have been freaked out at the thought of a person in Skowski's role who hadn't played much going down to Columbia and looking like he belongs.
And that's just a reflection of our meetings and our practice. I mean, just the trust that we see from what practice reps, and it's how we practice. I mean, we rep a lot of guys in the spring. I rep a lot of guys in fall camp, and we rep a lot of guys throughout the course of the week. We really do. So especially as guys mature, sometimes it's just a matter of opportunity. I mean, you got guys like we know JD can go play. I mean, JD he knows what he's doing. He's very smart. He runs well. He's big and strong. He's a good tackler, and but Kendall Joseph is just kind of he's been our starter, and so all of a sudden now Kendall's out for a game or two. Well, we got a guy that we trust, and we see it in practice every day. And we've changed up how we rotate those guys. Some of those guys will work with the 2s, and they work with the 1s. And so it's developed a lot of confidence. And then just playing guys, something that we committed to early in the season. Because they deserve to play. And so we were really committed at a lot of positions to make sure that we played guys to develop the depth that we're going to need at the end to make it throughout the course of the season. And I'm glad that we stayed the course on that, because guys were ready to play. They stayed engaged, they stayed encouraged, they stayed focused, and all of a sudden now their time was up and they were ready to play.
You still think Trey's going to be day-to-day all the way up until Saturday?
I think so. He's doing a lot better, though. Really, really encouraged with him.
Over the course of the season, could you kind of see T. Higgins building up to the kind of games he's had the last 2 weeks, and it was kind of a matter of having a breakout performance like he had at the Citadel to where, okay, I can do this?
Yeah, just a matter of time. Just a matter of time. Had a few things earlier in the year where just didn't quite work out, you know. And I think the biggest thing with him is just, I always say, getting his sea legs, you know, and that's kind of where he is. Sometimes it just takes a little while to really get comfortable to where the game slows down enough to where you can play fast and play fluid and play with confidence. And that's where he is right now. And yes, absolutely. I've seen it coming all year long. So, unbelievable attitude, great work ethic. He's an excellent teammate. You know, he's a kid that loves to be coached. He likes to learn, and you know, his confidence is really high right now. I mean, he's really come on for us. Whereas Amari, it was a much easier transition for him. You know, if he hadn't got hurt, I mean, he was probably, honest with you, he might have been the best guy the first week of camp, and then he got hurt and missed some time. But his transition was much easier. You know, from the moment he got here, he just looked confident and fluid and fast and technically a little bit more sound than where T was. And then, you know, T's a kid that's just going to continue to get better and develop physically. I mean, kind of like, you know, Overton last year. Overton was just like a giraffe running around out there, you know. I wish we could have redshirted him. But, man, DeAndre's put the work in. And his body has responded, and he's still a young player. DeAndre is really a good football player and got a bright future. And the combination of him and T, that's going to be fun to watch them two guys, you know, continue to develop.
Dabo, how much of an advantage is it for you guys that so much of your roster has been in games like this and understands what they have to do in order to be successful in games like this?
Yeah, well, I think that the experience for this team that they've had all year is probably more critical than saying, okay, how many guys have been in an ACC championship game? We got some guys that have been in an ACC championship game, but maybe they didn't play a lot. I mean, we probably got about 12 guys, I think, that have started in an ACC championship game, and I think that's important. But I think it's more what their experience for this team is this year. And so, you know, Miami's been in some big games this year. I know they don't have anybody that's played in the ACC championship game, but every game's a big game. You know, when you're trying to win your division, and I promise you, when they lined up to play Notre Dame, that was a big game. When they lined up to play Florida State, that was a big game. When they lined up to play with Virginia Tech and everything's on the line, that was a big game. So they're all big, and all they've done is respond. Georgia Tech, game's about over. They're about to lose. They got to put a drive together. They got to convert a 4th and 11, I think, or whatever, and ball gets tipped, guy makes a play, got to run out there and make a kick in a critical situation, you know, because all those things matter. So I think even though we've got obviously guys that have played in the ACC championship game and they've had an unbelievable experience this year. You know, if it was earlier in the year, this was like the kickoff classic, that's different. But where we are right now, I think both teams have been battle-tested. Both teams have gained the type of experience that you need and the confidence that you need throughout the course of the year to go and compete at the highest level. So it's great, but I don't think it gives us any type of advantage or anything like that. I mean, I think what gives us the best chance and gives them the best chance, again, is both experiences that we've had. Flip side for us, I mean, we're playing Auburn, you know, it's a big game. Auburn's pretty good, you know. I know they weren't real good then, I guess, you know, because we won, so they weren't real good. You know, but they're pretty good. I remember coming here saying, hey, boys, that bunch we just beat, they're really good, really good. And, you know, that kind of proved out to be the case. And so that was a huge game. So the experience, and then we got to go to Louisville, and it's game day, and it's Lamar Jackson, and, you know, can Kelly Bryant complete a pass on the road in that environment? You know, it's a big game. And then we got to go play Virginia Tech, and it's undefeated, and then they bring in Michael Vick and Bruce Smith, and it's a game day, and it's Virginia Tech. How are we going to function? Well, we made it. we've survived. So I think that experience is what matters more than anything else. Kelly ain't playing no ACC championship game. He didn't play in the national championship game. He didn't play a lick. So, you know, what matters is what you've done this year. That's where your confidence comes from. And so, you know, we've only got 6 seniors, so we're a very young team too, and a lot of these guys getting their first experience. But I think both teams are well prepared mentally, physically, emotionally. It's going to come down to a few plays. That's what it comes down to. I mean, execution, taking care of the ball, being the least penalized team, making some type of big play in special teams, and just relentless effort. That's what it comes down to.
How do you balance wanting professional success for members on your staff, especially if it comes elsewhere, with wanting to keep them on your staff as integral parts of that? I
don't worry about it 1 second. That's all God's plan. I'm not God. I just trust God. I don't worry about it 1 second. 0.
How healthy is Dexter at this point in the year, and do you envision him being kind of close to 100% as this game approaches?
Yeah, he played well for us last week. You know, he gets double teamed, triple teamed. He made one play. I mean, literally had 3 guys. He had to defeat 2, knock off 1, and he still made the tackle. I mean, that guy's a warrior, man. But he's as healthy as he's been. I mean, I don't think there's anybody out there 100%.